Alright guys, I'm here back with more
Rasputin
Psychonauts
Delgado, please
2.
report to the front desk. You have a visitor. What?
Okay. Guess we're going to the desk. I just realized actually I can fast travel. Yeah, trial is still out for the day at some point. Where's the front
Improve your
desk?
networking skills with our new mental connection pins.
Scanning. Rasputin Aquato, please come down to the reception area immediately. Your visitors are creating a disturbance.
Where's the reception area?
Couldn't be.
Rasputin Aquato, please come down to the reception area immediately. Your visitors are creating a disturbance.
Where's the reception area? Oh my god, what the fuck? There's like all this shit. Oh wait. Hey, could they make that text any smaller? Was it here?
Hey! Hi. Hey, cutie.
Improve your networking skills with our new mental connection pins.
When Jess woke up in the morning, they started untying the shoes, thinking, who did this to Marty's shoes? Only to realize when Marty came out, Marty was like, what are you doing to the shoes that I tied together? And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought people had done this to you. I was trying to help. And then to themselves, they said, this is how terrible I am at the social game.
Hard agree. After watching Jess the past couple days, hard agree.
Yes.
There's just something that's not connecting, within the house. And I think that there's a lot that happened today, and obviously yesterday, Anyway.
Well, so they have a conversation. They tell Marty that somebody close to Moose has to go up and that Moose has to go. But if the house decides to turn on T, the person that would go up that is close to Moose, that's up to them. Tanisha is very strong.
Dad?
Rasputin, my boy. Tell me, son, did you show them? Did you show them all?
Well, yeah, we rescued Truman from the kidnappers, so I guess?
That's my boy. So I suppose that means you're running this whole place now.
Dad, what are you doing here?
What? Well, we're here to support you, son.
We?
Of course. You really opened my eyes about the whole psychic thing, son. I'd been acting like a fool, I know that now. But your mother, I knew she'd need more convincing. She's not, after all, like us. Psychics, I mean.
You don't have to whisper that here.
So I thought if she saw where you were working and met all your new friends...
My mom's here.
Son, the whole family is here.
Oh, no.
Where's parents in Psychonauts 1? Alright.
Have you been practicing your acrobatics?
He's definitely let his muscle tone suffer.
Hey, hey, hey!
I forgot that he
on
was
a
in
little
the circus, right? Weird
He's
sequence.
not as flexible as I'd prefer. Pull harder.
Just what is going on out here? Rasputin, stop goofing around and explain yourself. Who are these people?
We are the Aquatos! Traveling thrill givers and practitioners of the acrobatic arts.
Great. Well, this is a highly restricted area. The campgrounds are over the hill. Now, if you wouldn't mind hauling that wreck off our landing pad.
What did you say?
If it's too much trouble to haul it, I could always burn it for you.
Please, excuse us. We are Rasputin's family. We've come here to support him, not get in the way. We'll move our caravan to the campgrounds.
I want to play in the jet.
Maybe your brother can give us a tour later. Whenever he's ready, he knows where to find us.
Bye, Pooter.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
They say that Gino has realized now that he messed up last week because he did the work for other people who are now not reciprocating that sort of, like, they're not really, like, talking to him as much anymore. Gino and Summer have been drifting a little bit. Gino has kind of felt like Summer's not giving him as much time of day as she did when he was HOH and trying to get him to put his friend up on the block, which, yeah, duh. And they talk about how Marty accidentally told Betty too much information when Betty was giving him a massage. They're like, you can't trust anyone in here apart from me and Kevin.
Finally.
And he's like, I know,
Never
I
say
know.
hi. I tell ya, I have been waiting for someone to come visit for a long time. I was starting to think I was invisible. You ever get that feeling? Well, there was this one girl who looked kind of like a blue scarecrow, but she scared me. But you seem nice, so did I guess your name right?
It's Raz.
Oh, that was the very next name I was going to say, I swear. So, how long are you committing yourself for?
4 years.
Wow, that's a lot. Why don't you just try it for a little bit and we go from there?
Try what now?
Psycho-isolation, silly. We don't commit people anymore without their consent. Unless they're a danger to themselves or others.
How many people you got in there?
Oh, just Agent Boole right now. He likes it in there. Keeps him from feeling overwhelmed by all the you-know-what in the woods.
Squirrels?
Voices. He can't shut them out. Can you believe he even finds me overwhelming? So anyway, I've got a nice room ready for you if you'd like it.
Actually, I'm just here to visit Agent Boole.
Oh, well, okay. Just be careful. Don't ask him too many things at once, or he'll curl up into a little ball and something might explode. Hi!
Oh, what is this?
I see what you're doing there. Oh, you think you're clever, don't you?
Looks like there's a Senior League membership card stuck in this frame.
Hey, don't even look at that. It's private.
Agent Boole?
Huh?
Hi, I'm Rasputin. I'm a friend of your grandson.
Oh, no. He hasn't hurt anybody else, has he?
No humans that I know of.
Good. Good.
Do you need help getting out of there?
No, I put myself in here.
Why did you put yourself in there?
Well, I was feeling a little overwhelmed. And when I get overwhelmed, accidents happen.
I see Lizzie introduced you to Harold.
Oh, no. Harry Kasparov here showed up on his own.
So why is Lizzie still out there looking for animals?
Oh, well, I mostly sent her away just because there was too many voices in here. Hint, hint.
Agent Boole, I need your help.
Oh, no. With what?
I need help catching the mole in the Psychonauts.
Sorry, don't do moles. Their little snouts give me the heebie-jeebies.
No, I mean there's a counter-spy in the organization.
Oh, well, I'm retired from spy work. A danger to myself and to others, they say.
Who would say that?
Me.
I need help fighting Maligula.
Ah! You need to warn a gentleman before slapping him in the face with a name like that. She's long gone, but the scars are still painful.
Someone's trying to bring Maligula back.
Ah! Well, I suppose I had enough warning that time. Listen, Maligula is dead and gone. Even if she were to return, I was no help fighting her the first time. I'll be sitting out any future Maligula battles for everyone's protection. For everyone's protection.
I need a Senior League membership card.
What? Well, don't look at mine.
Please, Agent Boole. It's important.
That bowling card is a precious memento of a dear friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did she die?
No, she's somewhere. Out in the forest.
What? Well, let's go find her.
Well, I've tried for years, but I just can't anymore.
Please let me borrow your Senior League membership card.
No, now buzz off. Buzz off. Hey, hang on a second. Exactly what I was thinking, Harold. The bees could help. Cassie and I always loved working with bees in the forest. If you could bring me just one bee, I'll bet I could talk to it and find out where my Cassie is.
No kidding?
Here, take this and hurry.
Okay, one bee coming up. I came out here looking for something.
Oh, but she was
what
just
was
giving
it?
me a
Oh,
massage,
right,
and I
a
just
brain
wasn't
for Nick,
thinking.
so I can get him to keep Nick from getting
Marty
his head
says,
caught in the
look,
Stamper again.
I honestly think T is the one that should go home. I know Moose is the one that you want, and Jess is like, that's not necessarily what I want. He's like, okay, good, because I think T is the one that should go.
Yeah, I think that for Jess, the thing that I hope they understand as the day goes on and there's many conversations that they have is that if they put up T, like, there's no way to smooth this over. Excuse me, there's not, like, T is not a pawn that you put up and everybody's like, okay, and then you vote out Moose. Like, it gets messy. And if you want to put up T, like, there's going to be repercussions for that. So if you yesterday got in this fight with Moose and you've decided that you really want Moose to go, putting up T is not the best because you're going to make an enemy out of T and Summer and Betty. I just think that they're not thinking in a way where it's like, how do I get out of this with all of my relationships better? They're thinking, how do I get out of this with a stronger, solid side with me? But the problem
With
is,
that haircut soon?
Please,
Jess
I can't rush
is
an artist.
I see a big missing chunk on this side.
What's that?
Not to fear, only temporary. All part of the process.
Would you mind if I jumped into your mind for a second? Just to even out some split ends.
If it'll keep you quiet, then go right ahead.
Someone's looking a little shaggy. Well, not to worry. A fresh cut and you'll feel like a whole new person. Just make sure you cut away the right parts, or your old friends won't recognize you.
I'm here to recover a piece of Ford's mind, and something tells me it's up in that lighthouse.
as you've said a million times in the updates, Jess is considered expendable by so many people, and I'm not sure that they've done enough this week. Like, by keeping Gino off the block, I'm not sure that they're doing enough to where next week people will be like, well, Jess is very hard in our alliance, and like Jess is very important to my game. Like, I think that there's still so much room for Jess to find themselves in a sticky situation, and by putting up T, it only like elevates their target level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, I think the important thing here is that obviously with the altercation that occurred between Jess and Moose, it was really looking like, obviously, like Jess would definitely want Moose gone, but here in the morning, especially with Marty sort of like pushing, it does feel like Jess is open to the idea of targeting Tanisha, which, if they decided to do so, would potentially mean that Tanisha would leave. You know, I think we'll be looking at the votes as we go, particularly during a conversation with Kevin, but I mean, if Jess gives the okay, it makes it a lot more likely that Tanisha could be the one to go here. So that's, I think, what we need to be looking at as we run through the day. Will Jess want Tanisha gone? And if so, can the votes get there?
But if Jess does not want Tanisha gone, do you think that Tanisha is the right pawn for Jess to be picking?
I mean, they can't put up anybody from the, they can't put up like Marty or Gino or any of them, because they would just straight up leave, right? Like, if they want Moose gone, then it has to be somebody like Tanisha or Summer. You know, even I mean, certainly we know by the end of the day Kevin would leave. Helena would probably still leave. Like most people would probably leave over Moose, because Moose is
fuck off.
Is working closely with Herman and with Tanisha and Summer and Betty, enough to the point where they would probably decide, you know what, screw Jess, especially after all this talk, and we're gonna keep Moose.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest issue is that Jess, just with everything that happened yesterday and today with Summer, T, and Betty, like, has completely destroyed their relationship with them. Like, they never will trust them. Even if they decided not to go through with it, putting up T, they have completely destroyed their relationship with Summer and T and Betty. By even, like, talking about this. And then there's a lot of talk of like, well, I just feel like you guys don't trust me. And it's like, yes, because you're telling people that you're going to put Tanisha on the block and possibly blindside her. So, yes, of course they don't trust you. It's a very, it's just, I feel like there's a lot of, they were just really messy about it, in my opinion. Do you disagree?
I mean, yes. I mean, definitely very messy, right? Like, I think that given the chosen course, which was I'm going to try to work with Gino and Jace because they just made a dumb decision and they're kind of on the outs now. And like because of that, I'm going to move in this direction. Like everything they've done subsequently is, I think, like the right strategic decision, but the method with which they've gone about it has been awful. I think the strategic decision you can question is that initial decision of which sort of route to take, right? Because there is a world where they could have just gone like more all in on the Summer Tanisha side of things. There was a big divide between Summer Tanisha and Herman and Moose that they could have exploited. And they still could try to get out, you know, Moose or Herman. I do think that Moose or Herman are the best targets in general for Jess, regardless of which side they try to work. But I remember on an update, I think at the start of the week, I said that you know, the path that Kevin is kind of pushing them down is not the best path for them. It's the best path for Kevin because it leaves Kevin open to work with Summer and Tanisha and more of the house, whereas it pushes Jess into a corner, and that Jess should be trying to work on Summer as much as possible to make that connection be separate from their connection to Kevin. And I feel like that was what was important for Jess, and instead, especially because of the veto results, they are now being forced to do the complete opposite, which is only further pushing them down into a hole. And you know, there's not an easy way out of it at this point because they've already kind of made their bed. And you know, at some point, you have to be able to recognize that, you know, maybe I just need to like full reset and just blow everything up because it's starting to look really not great.
Yes, thank you for laying it all out there like that, Taryn. Like, I think that that's what I really needed to hear, because I think that, like, all of these decisions that Jess has made in regards to putting up Tanisha and all of that all lead back to them deciding to work with Gino and Jace, like, hardcore. And I think that, like you just said, like, that is where the issue lies. And since then, their game has unraveled, because if that's the path they wanted to go down, I feel like it causes more tension and more difficulty for them in the house overall than it does if they had decided not to go down that path. But that's their prerogative to decide which way they want to go and who they want to work with. So I think that, like, the reporting that is being done today all, like, ties back to that decision. And like you said, it's starting to unravel, and their standing is within the house at large, I feel, is moving further away from where they wanted to be by the end.
They're already gone just from that.
Yeah, and they even said at one point today, I think to Kevin, like, maybe I should have just put up, like, Herman and Gino or Moose and Gino, because then maybe Gino wins that veto, and like I'm in a much better spot where I can replace Gino with Moose or Herman, or vice versa, or like whatever. Like, and that's kind of the thing. Like, you never want to, and I appreciate what they were going for here. It's what Kevin was sort of pitching to them, is keep it simple. I like the simplicity that they attempted here, but as an HOH, you never want to be in a position where you know that the veto will screw you. Especially in a season where every single week the veto has been won by a nominee, and it's very likely that it's going to happen. And this is kind of the position that they've been put in, and they're trying to. The problem is, like, the way that they're trying to get out of the trouble that they're in because of the veto is a pretty standard sort of strategic method where they're like, oh, I just need to hide our relationship. I'm just it's because of where the votes would lie, and that's worked in the past, but they don't have the as they've said, the social chops to pull it off, and Summers in particular is seeing right through it, which is not to say that, like, similar to Gino last week, it's not necessarily going to end in disaster for Jess. There are plenty of other targets around, and things could still theoretically work out, but this is definitely not heading down the path that they were hoping.
And I do think that if Jess had decided not to go the I think the reason that Jess decided to go down the Jace Gino route, correct me if I'm wrong, is because of their relationship with Jace.
Yeah.
But I do think that if they had decided to put up Gino and really work on this week their relationship with T, Summer, and Betty, and like really, really hunker down with them, Gino goes, where does Jace have to turn? Jace still is like, who does Jace have at that point? I do think that there's a world where they could have done that instead, but this path that they've gone down, I think, is putting them in a much stickier situation.
So my primary thing about nominating Gino is that, Gino opens his conversation with Jess at the start of the week saying, I get it if you put me up. I just put you up. Right? And the thing about Gino and Jace is that, look, if I'm in that house, of course I want to work with them. They're kind of big dummies. Like they're much easier to manipulate. But because of that, they're also much easier to put up on the block and say, tit for tat, sorry, I have to use you as a pawn, and then you work on your relationship with Summer, Tanisha, and Betty, and if you get them to vote out Moose over Gino, fantastic, everything worked out perfectly, or Herman over Gino. If they flip on you and they take out Gino, I'm so sorry, Jace, I got played.
Exactly.
And so, like, either way, you're okay. And you can still go back to Summer, Tanisha, and Betty and be like, and because you're not actually pushing that hard. And you can be like, hey, it's cool. I wanted Gino to go too. I'm still with you guys. And you can kind of go back and forth. I think that's like, I get where Jess came from strategically at the start of the week, but you do have to account for this veto being so prevalent, especially in this season.
And you can't play.
Yeah,
they just can't play for the veto.
Exactly. Like this is more of a BBUS strategy than a BB Can strategy to put the two targets straight up on the block with no really good alternatives. It's just yet again, it's another situation where like Jess is now in a spot where they're about to put up an ally on the block.
Exactly.
You never ever want to be in a situation where you do that, and you can argue like how much of an ally really is T. This is kind of a fake alliance a little bit, but either way, a fake alliance doesn't mean that it's not an alliance.
Totally. And also, I do think that there's so many... How many times have you gotten on here, Taryn, and been like, oh, this alliance is fake, and then 2 weeks later, because the right people won HOH, it's the realest alliance in the game. Like, Jess, this alliance was, like, fairly fake, right? But Jess, this week, like...
Ford, it's me, Raz.
Are you really the same person I used to know?
Ford, I just saw you. Remember the bacon?
I can't even recognize the person you become.
Sounds like 12 years
I feel
old.
a bad storm gathering. Drawn close. Very close. Hey guys, that's a little bit too close, okay?
That's great.
Like I said, really works closely with Summer, T, and Betty, and like really like this is the most important relationship to me in the game, while still being able to have the conversation on the side with Kevin, with Marty, and like close. They leave this week not being able to play HOH next week and really covered on all sides versus, they're saying, earlier in the day, like I feel like they have been acting so weird, like Summer and T, like it just shows they don't trust me. And it's like, because there's rumor, like Marty told Betty, you're gonna put T on the block. Of course they don't trust you. What work have you done to solidify that trust with them. And I'm very happy we had this conversation because the whole time I've been like, okay, I need to talk to Taryn and work out exactly like where Jess has gone so wrong, because there was a way for none of this to happen, and the way that we just laid out was that. But, you know, Jess has made their bed, and they're going to have to lie in it now. And unfortunately, I do think Tanisha is going to be a casualty of it, and it is very unfortunate because it didn't have to be like that.
Definitely possible, and I want to reiterate too, like, if I'm gonna point out like the biggest mistake that Jess makes here, I think overall it is just that they. It's the failure of their social game.
Bottle of hydroside if I need to.
Lucretia went to Grulovia.
She went back to protect her family.
Okay. I didn't play you.
War, but it changed her. War changes everybody. Inside all of us. We all have
I didn't play you.
Dark roots.
I'm not mad about it. Just say it was gameplay, and I'm cool with it. Chanel was my number one, and I wanted to be totally loyal to her. You lied to me. So I lied to you because you weren't my number one. You weren't my number one, so I lied to you. I was. How many times have you lied to me? I've lied to you a lot. Okay. Because be afraid. That's cool playing me. I know. I think I made a bad choice, and I do regret it. And if I blew up my game, it's because I put my trust in a person I shouldn't have put my trust in. Once the votes were revealed, it exposed that I was playing both sides. But it seems to me that Chanel has somehow gotten off scot-free with her playing both sides. She's getting no blowback from this, as far as I can tell. That's crazy to me. This game is totally fickle.
Oh, sorry, Ford.
It can turn on a dime, which is what I'm hoping it does again, because right now I'm in a world of hurt and I need a dime to turn.
Finished up? Well, if you see Ford telling you did a great job, I feel like a completely different person.
Got one piece of Ford's mind connected.
It's okay. I didn't play you. Listen, I'm not mad about it. It's just
Donato is right. We'll need Ford at full capacity if we're gonna have a chance against Maligula.
Where are we at time-wise?
That's failing them the most. Like, I do think there was a strategic path that had a higher percentage of working here, but ultimately I think either path could have worked if they were able to pull off the conversations and they had the relationships in order to do it, and that's where like they primarily failed. And then of course like you've got Kevin in their ear. Kevin has a lot of influence over them, and Kevin is definitely not working in their best interest, but working in his best interest. And so if Jess is going to kind of flounder as HOH, if that's what's necessary for what's best for Kevin, then that's what's going to happen. As they said, they put all their marbles/eggs in Kevin's basket, which
and Kevin is tossing them out of that basket, huh? One by one, just throwing them.
So, that was the first conversation of the day.
Yeah, no, well, I do this thing. If you are new and you haven't seen me on an update, I do this thing where Taryn's like the first conversation of the day.
Next episode, continue on. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to do other stuff, yeah. There's other ones. So, yeah, one's here. Next episode, continue on. So, thank you for watching.